How's it going, everybody? I'm Steve Ninja, and welcome. So today I'm going to rank the 15 studio albums from the band Aerosmith. This is a band that actually has two big anniversaries coming up this year. And it's a band I used to really love. I still like them quite a bit, but this is a band I actually, the first time I got into them was like in 1985 or 86 when I heard the Walk Us Way, Run DMC collaboration. That's kind of when the band, they were trying to make a comeback at that time. And so after I got into that early the mid 80s Aerosmith era, that's when I started to kind of check out the early stuff and really got into the early stuff quite a bit from that. But so this band consists of Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, Brad Whitford, Tom Hamilton, and Joey Creamer. And they've had some other musicians in there over the years, but these five guys are the primary part of the group. They've done most of the albums. So at number 15, this is actually the last studio album that they released. It's probably the last one they ever do, but it's from 2012, Music from Another Dimension. I think this album, I've tried to let it grow on me over the years. I think the album's way too long. It's like 68 minutes. They brought back their old 70s producer Jack Douglas to try to bring back that old style from the 70s. It has a Legendary Child, Love Her a Lot, Can't Stop Loving You, or just name a few here. But I think the big problem is, besides the album being too long, I think a lot of the songs kind of overstay their welcome quite a bit. And I think if they had shortened some of the songs a little bit, I think some of those would have worked a lot better. So that's really my only complaint about it. But like I said, I've given it quite a few chances, and it's never quite grown on me. But maybe someday, maybe it will. But for today, I'm ranking it last. So before I give the next one, I really encourage people to give me their picks in the comments. Let me know how you would rank these. Give me your top 5, top 10, top 15. Whatever you want to do. My list is not the definitive list or anything. I could be wrong on some of these. I put this list together, and some of these have gone up and down. But for today, this is at least the list that I finally kind of settled on after even making some changes today. But number 14, this one is actually, it's really not a studio album. It's mostly an album of covers. It's from 2004. It's Honkin On Bobo, which is a crazy title. But it's like I said, a lot of covers. It does have one new song called "The Grind." It's just it's got a song that a lot of blues or rock bands do. "Baby, Please Don't Go." You've heard AC/DC do that song, and quite a few bands over the years have done that. At number 13, I have "Just Push Play" from 2001. I thought this album's really kind of overproduced in a lot of ways. It's really slick production. It says it's produced by the Boneyard Boys, which I think is just Joe Perry and Steven Tyler, I believe. It was produced in a barn kind of thing. A lot of this, I think it's something like the title track I like, but I think it's something that they probably can't play live because the way it's produced, it's just kind of overdone in a lot of ways. But I do like the song "Jaded" quite a bit. But overall, I think I kind of like the way this sounds, but I just don't really love the songs on it so much. At number 12, I have "9 Lives." It's from 1997. It has the song "Pink," which I actually kind of like. "Falling in Love," "Hole in My Soul." It has what "Taste of India," "Full Circle." Just kind of remembering some of these songs I kind of liked on this, but I remember this album being kind of forgettable in a lot of ways. When it was released in the late 90s, I just kind of remember seeing it at Walmart one day. I didn't even know Aerosmith even had a new album. That's kind of the state of affairs at that time from Aerosmith. It's just kind of stumbled. Oh, they have a new album, and I bought it, and then thought it was okay. At number 11, this one's really kind of interesting. It's released in 1982. It's called "Rockin' a Hard Place." I love the album cover for this. I love the Stonehenge on the back. This one's interesting because it doesn't have Joe Perry or Brad Whitford on it. It has a couple other guys, Jimmy Crespo and Rick DeFay. I love the way this sounds. It doesn't really have a ton of singles on it. I like Jailbait quite a bit. Lightning Strikes, Bitches Brew. I like a lot of songs on this, but it's just it's kind of strange how it doesn't have the legendary guitar player Joe Perry on it. Just that kind of thing. But and just how they carried on without him. I think he was doing the Joe Perry project at the time, and he had quit the band. I don't know if it was during the production of Night in the Ruts, or if I think it was while they were on tour for that album. He quit the band all of a sudden. But I do like the way this sounds a lot of ways. It's just kind of kind of somewhat underrated for Aerosmith, but it didn't make my top 10, but I still kind of like it though. So number 10, this one's kind of interesting because this is when Joe Perry did come back in 1985. It's called Down with Mirrors. This is one that's the CD is the one that has Darkness on it, but I actually have I only have like 2 Aerosmith albums on vinyl, and I have this one on vinyl, and this one only has like 8 tracks on it. I read today that on CD and on audio cassette they had 9 tracks on it, and on some selections of vinyl they had 9 tracks, but the song Darkness isn't on my vinyl on this. But let me know if you have this on vinyl and does it have Darkness on it, because I think I don't know if they did like a re-release or and add that song later or not, but I know that my CDs has the 9 tracks on it. So, but obviously let the music do the talking. I like talking. I like this version a lot more than the Joe Perry Project version. It's got Sheila on it. It's got some decent songs. I like song The Hop and Darkness. But I think some people would probably rank this a lot higher. Like I said, I have it number 10, but some people will probably have this a lot higher in their ranking, because a lot of people really don't like the mid 80s on. They like the 70s and like early 80s, and then after that they were kind of done with Aerosmith once they kind of made their big comeback and became more of a kind of a glam band pop, making more pop rock and stuff. But that was also when they actually probably had the best album sales during that time too. So at number 9 I have this album's actually 30 years old now. It's Get a Grip, released in 1993. I love a lot of songs on this. Eat the Rich, the song Get a Grip, Fever, Living on the Edge. It's got Crying, Crazy, a lot of ballads on it, Boogeyman, a lot of Amazing. Just a lot of ballads on it, but I actually love the sound of this. I love the song "Living on the Edge" quite a bit. So, early '90s Aerosmith, you would think they'd be kind of irrelevant at this point, but it's like I said, I like this a lot more than some of the other stuff they did later. So, at number 8, I actually have their debut album. This album's 50 years old now, and I was actually born in 1973, so it has some meaning to me. I'll be turning 50 in August, so which is unbelievable. It's unbelievable this album will be 50, but it's got obviously Dream On. It's got One Way Street, Mama Ken, Moving Out, Make It. It has some good songs on it. This is I think it kind of holds up, but it's not one of my favorites. Like I said, I have this at number 8. So, but I have it ranked top 10. But I don't have it extremely high. But I like a lot of stuff that's on this. Maybe the production could be maybe a little bit better, but and some of the stuff they did, like the next 3 albums, were quite a bit better than this. So at number 7, I was kind of surprised I put this one so high. But I really like the songs on it. It's from 1979, Night in the Ruts. This was, like I said, Joe Perry would quit the band, like I think on tour during this, and he didn't play in all the songs on this either. So I think at this point he was having disagreements with the rest of the guys in the band, especially Steven Tyler. But I like No Surprise, Remember Walking in the Sand. I like 3 Mile Smile, Reefer Head Woman. I even like the song Mia quite a bit on this, but I love the way this sounds, though. Even though the band was a mess at this point, I still like this one. I don't know if other people would have this ranked quite as high as I do, but number 7 is where I have it today, though. At number 6, I have Draw the Line from 1977. I love the title track. I think the production on this is a little bit weaker than some of the albums that came before it, but I like Critical Mass, Kings and Queens. I like the songs on this. Like I said, it's just it's kind of underproduced in a lot of ways. It could sound a little bit better, but I like the songs that are on it though. So number 5, like I said, I got into the band kind of in the mid 80s. Then in that time period, and this was like one of the first albums I bought from the band. And a lot of people probably wouldn't have these 80s albums ranked in the top 10, possibly, but maybe you will. I don't know. But I have Permanent Vacation in 1987. This has a lot of the big comeback album, a lot of the kind of pop hits on it. Magic Touch, Ragdoll, Dude Looks Like a Lady, St. John, Hangman Jury, Angel, I'm Down. It has some good songs on it. But like I said, let me know in the comments how you would rank this. Maybe you wouldn't rank it in quite as high as I am, but I do have kind of a nostalgia for this album in a lot of ways. So at number 4, I have Pump from 1989. This album and the album before this, Permanent Vacation, were both produced by Bruce Fairbairn. He's passed away now, Canadian producer. He did a lot of stuff in like the late 80s, early 90s, but I like Young Lust, Fine, Love an Elevator. It has a Janie's Got a Gun, The Other Side, What It Takes. I had a lot of hits on this for the band, and like I said, this is where they were really selling a lot of albums and making like MTV videos and kind of stuff like that. So I've got it ranked like number 4. That might be too high for a lot of people, but that's where I have it though. So at number 3, I have Get Your Wings from 1974. Really like some of the songs on this. Same Old Song and Dance, Lord of the Thighs, SOS, the cover Train Kept a Rollin'. I love the song Seasons of Wither. I think it's one of my opinion, one of the best Aerosmith songs I've ever done. And so I love this one. So at number 2, I think a lot of people would have this at number 1. I've seen a lot of ranking videos, and I think a lot of people have this at number 1. But I have Rocks at number 2, which is from 1976. Love this album. I think this album is probably the closest they've ever come to making like a heavy metal album. Back in the Saddle, Last Child, Rats in the Cellar, Combination, Sick as a Dog, Nobody's Fault. I think the band Testament actually did a cover of that song. Get the Let Out, Licking a Promise. So I love this album, and if you have this number 1, I don't blame you. I think it's very close to my number 1. But number 1, I have Toys in the Attic from 1975. I like pretty much every song on this. That's why I have it at number 1. The title track, Uncle Salty, Adam's Apple, the classic Walk This Way, big 10-inch record, Sweet Emotion, one of the best Aerosmith songs ever. It has a No More, No More, has a Round and Round, really great song. You See Me Crying. You know, how can I not make this number 1? But, you know, if you have Rocks at number 1, I totally understand, you know. Well, like I said, please include your ranking. Let me know how you would do this, you know. My ranking's not really the definitive album ranking. You could have it completely different. Like I said, there's no wrong answers here. Please put a thumbs up on the video if you like this content. And have a good night. Thank you. Bye.